Solari. That's a good ball for Roberto Carlos. Hooked into the penalty area towards Zidane. Oh,
that was Zinedine Zidane's famous 2002 Champions League volley. What you might not have known was that it was scored here at Hampden Park. Yes, Hampden Park, the historic home of Scottish football, and the site of this episode of State of Soccer. So let's begin. Well, let's start way back when. In 1903, when Hampden Park was built. Since then, it has been the venue for some of the most historic moments in European football. Aside from regularly hosting domestic events such as the Scottish Cup and Scottish League Cup, Hampden has held 2 European Cup finals, 1 Champions League final, a Europa League final, and most recently, 3 group stage matches in the 2020 Euros. The stadium you are going to see today has been redeveloped multiple times. So let's fast forward 96 years to its most recent renovation. We're talking 1999. This round of renovations saw Hampden Park reduce its capacity to 51,866. But prior to this renovation, it held up to 150,000 spectators. Alright, let's put a pause on all this history because a little later in the episode we'll check out the Scottish Football Museum. Instead, let's get on with the tour and visit the dressing rooms. At Hampden Park, there are 2 dressing rooms, the East and the West. The East dressing room is widely considered to be the better of the 2, which is typically what the Scottish national team uses for their home matches, as well as Queen's Park Football Club. Yes, Queen's Park, who notably used this as their home venue from 1903 until very recently in 2021. Anyways, it is said that during Scottish Cup play, this dressing room becomes an area of contention, meaning everyone wants the East dressing room. A classic example of this, or Scottish football folklore if you want to call it, is when Celtic squares up against who else but Rangers. Celtic has laid claim to the East dressing room because of their geographic location in Glasgow. Makes sense. While Rangers are pushed into the less desirable dressing room, the West dressing room. Now here's the kicker, and that pun was intended. Rangers refused to use the West dressing room, and instead change at Ibrox. Quick stop in the referee's quarter brought in a couple well-mannered jokes from our tour guide.
But I'll say, if you want to take a picture as a referee, just sit in these seats here. We don't get very many takers for that. I'm not too sure why that is, but if anybody does want to do it, it's fine to do so.
And then our group was put up to the challenge of converting a penalty kick at the famous Hampden Park. The objective here was simple, to score and register a top-speed shot. My 2 objectives, on the other hand, was A, not to be beaten by a 12-year-old, and B, to simply score. My lack of shot power is not the narrative in this episode, so instead let's take a stroll pitchside. Once pitchside, it was clear that the pitch was, in fact, covered. Kind of let down, but this was simply because Hampden Park was setting up to host a concert. Either way, I learned some cool new facts about Hampden Park from our guide.
As I mentioned, the Commonwealth Games, that's probably the biggest thing away from football to have been here in the last 10 years. Usain Bolt came, won 1 race, put his tartan hat on and ran around the pitch celebrating with the fans.
I also learned something shocking. For anyone who has taken either the Celtic Park or Ibrox Stadium tours, I apologize in advance.
The Scottish Cup that you see on the TV is the real Scottish Cup. They get presented with the real Scottish Cup. You get to go and celebrate with the fans, they get to go and show the fans and celebrate for a little while. As soon as they get back to the changing room, the curatorial staff will be there to take the trophy back off them and give them a replica. It's a little quick swap as they're going in the door.
It was then that we all made our way inside and visited the Scottish Football Museum. I know in a past episode I was super hype about Manchester United's museum, but the Scottish Football Museum was in some ways just as cool. We're talking about the history of football in Scotland here, so it was bound to have some insane exhibits. Let's first revisit the Scottish Cup, which was looking pretty authentic if you ask me, in its glass box. And then I walked around and admired the kits on display representing the various sides making up Scotland's football pyramid from amateur status to professional status. I even got to witness which is arguably Scotland's greatest ever World Cup goal, dating back to the 1978 FIFA World Cup, when Archie Gemmill dribbled past the Dutch defense to score. So let's cap off this episode with a quick montage and show you what else I saw. Alright everyone, I hope you enjoyed this episode of State of Soccer and the tour of Hampden Park as well as the museum. If you enjoyed, please hit like, subscribe, and until next time, from somewhere, someplace soon, I'll see you in the next episode.